Welcome back, everybody, to the Target Forge Workshop. Today I've got something really special for you. This is actually part two of a video series, or a video episode that was very successful for the channel. It was a video I did on DIY fills for your range bags. And these range bags are available on Amazon. They're very inexpensive. And I did a look at two different fill ratios that I use to create. This is one of the bags. The other one is out on the range. But I was contacted by a company called SpexLite. And they said, hey, Bill, we actually have taken a very scientific approach to creating fill for firearm use. And we're very proud of our product, and we'd love to share it with you and let you see it. I said, well, hey guys, send me some. And boy, did they. I even got a lovely handwritten note from Miss Colleen. Big thanks to her for supporting the channel and getting me some fill options, which honestly, I didn't even know existed on this level. These guys have a range of fills for your bags. And I'm going to set this one aside for now. This was my super heavy bag. This one by itself is almost 25 pounds. It's really, really heavy. Not exactly suitable for lugging to the range on the daily. We'll put those aside for now. But what I want to take a look at are three of their options. They sent me kind of a spectrum of what they offer. This one here is the SpexLite 5125. This is the super light end of their spectrum. And this is a huge volume of fill, and I can easily lift it with one hand. This is a little more middle of the spectrum as far as their fills go. This is the SpexLite 5235. Now this is considerably heavier than the first option. So we're stepping up in weight as we move to this other end. Now this one cracked me up. This one doesn't have a fancy number. It's just called heavy sand. And it's so funny to read through their literature on their website, because this heavy sand is actually 28% heavier than normal sand. So from the spectrum of the very light fills to their exceptionally heavy fills, this is 100 times lighter than their heavy sand. And their heavy sand is actually 28% heavier than regular sand. Can you imagine being the guy who came up with that? Hey boss, I got this great product. It's heavy sand. Congratulations, Junior. You invented sand that covers most of the planet. No, you don't understand. This one is super heavy. It really is, folks. I'm goofing around on their terminology, but it is ridiculously solid, and it's a very fine particulate. So you're going to get a very unique feel to the bag when it's filled with that. So what I'd like to do is fill three new bag sets. These are, this one is a color you'll remember. We looked at it before. But these two are really unique. This one is like a Kratex camo and a lovely brown leather trim. And these are all the same bag types, and I'll put the links down below. And then this one is a black bag with a brown accent leather area for the rifle to sit. Very nice. Very nice color options. I'll put links to those as well. But what we're going to do is we're going to get set up here. We're going to get the camera moved, and we're going to fill each one of these bags. And then we're going to compare the weights of these fills, these three very specific engineered fill solutions from SpexLite. We're going to take a look at those as compared to my exceptionally heavy fills from the last episode. These are great options. These guys are actually the official bag fill for PRS shooting in America for 2024. So they're no joke. They're very highly respected in the industry, and they carry a lot of credibility coming into this. And I have to say, they really worked to get the shipping down on these. They did a great job for me. Let's get to work. Let's get these bags full up and get a weight and compare that to what we did in the last episode. All right, this is the fill of the SpexLite 5125. This is on the light end of their spectrum. You just open up that fill void or the fill funnel right there. And again, no need for liners here because this stuff is not going to break down in use. It is a truly engineered solution. Now, I did 3D print this scoop because it's really handy for getting this stuff in there. Man, this stuff is crazy light. But we're going to continue with this, and this will be the fill with the lightest of all of their offerings. And we'll come back in a second. When you're filling this really light material, it is really handy to get your fingers in the bag and kind of push that material down a little bit to have it squish out the bag some more. If you're looking for that really full fill on these, you want to kind of get that material packed down a little bit before you add more. All right, I'm pretty happy with that level of fill on this bag. So we're going to go ahead and seal it up and then tuck that flap back under the strap. All right, man, that is, this feels like a pillow kind of light. It really has a unique, very lightweight feel to it. I think I'm gonna like this version as well. A quick note: when you're filling the lighter material in the smaller bag, there's only a single inlet hole up near the front, and you're going to want to use your finger and kind of, as you get material built up in there, you're going to want to guide it to that hole and kind of get material forced down into that inner hole to get this to fill out the way it should. It's just a little more challenging with the much lighter material because it doesn't want to naturally fall down into that void. So you kind of got to help it a little bit, but a little bit of time spent, and I think you'll be pretty happy with the results. Okay, that is the lightest of the SpexLite product in this set of bags. And now on to the medium weight. Okay, this is the SpexLite 5235 fill. This is the middle of the road weight fill from the SpexLite company. We're going to put that in this really nice camo bag. Again, all these bags are the same dimension, so that's how we're going to compare their weight. But back to my handy 3D printed scoop, and I'm going to put this right down in here with the media and get the filling. Well, there's the fill of the medium weight product, and I gotta say, this feels really nice. Kind of that nice balance between, you know, not super heavy, but it definitely feels a little more solid, a little more planted, and it does have still has good squish. The radius on those particles kind of helping it to move around and have good mobility inside the bag. I do really like this middleweight as well. So we're going to continue on and fill the small bag as well. And then we're going to move on to the heavy sand. I will say the medium weight product is a little bit easier to get down into these finger assemblies, but assisting it from the inside helping guide that material down inside the internal hole that goes from this chamber to this one. This is a really good way to get enough fill in those fingers initially. Okay, we've got a good fill on this little bag, and I gotta say it does feel really nice. So bravo on the mid-size fill or the mid-weight fill. This feels really good too. So on to the heavy sand. Okay folks, now this lovely black bag with the brown leather trim, it's going to get the heavy sand, and we're going to get to filling it up as well. Really fine particulate size on the sand. This sand could be a great addition to the other two fills. If you wanted the same feel but wanted to add a little bit more weight, this could be a really nice option. The sand is going to settle to whatever area is facing down, so it is going to be like a nice planted bench feel. Well, I got to tell you folks, their heavy sand is indeed really heavy sand. I can't wait to see how this weight compares to my steel shot and glass bead fill, because this is, oh my gosh, really solid. I don't know if I'm going to have enough to actually fill this little one. I'm kind of running low on material here, but we'll see what we can do. Even with this really fine heavy sand, it still benefits from kind of guiding that material down into that hole and kind of packing it into these fingers to get them to stand up correctly. Definitely worth the time to work that in there. It's going to pay off in a much better bag feel. I've got the inner bag of the heavy sand material here. I've kind of forced all of the heavy sand left in it into one corner, and then I nipped the corner of the bag so that I could kind of pipette the last of that material into this small bag. We're going to get it as full as we can. But yeah, I didn't get nearly as much of the heavy sand material, probably due to the shipping cost, as I did the lighter weight materials. But honestly, as I'm looking at these, I really like that medium weight fill. That's the one that's really caught my attention. I mean, this heavy sand is nice, but for overall use and getting around to the range and stuff, I think that that medium weight material is pretty good. Boy, I tell you, those boffins over at SpexLite, they said, we're going to use our calculator to try and get you the optimal amount of fill for your bags. And obviously on the sand, it really mattered because shipping weight is so high. And I'll be darned, man, it is just about perfectly filled. And I can't really fit much more in there. So we're going to call this one full. And now we're going to close it up and move on to weighing the big boys and see how they all stack up. Man, that feels really nice. Really well planted, really solid. And I have no heavy sand left. All gone. Okay, folks, we're going to start out with the lightest of the fill options from SpexLite. 2.25. The medium weight, 6.77 pounds. This is their heavy sand. And that is heavy sand. That's 23.28 pounds. Now let's try my heavy bag. This is steel shot and glass beads. And we're at 23 pounds, 12.2 ounces on this scale. This is my lighter of the bags that I filled initially on the first video. It has plastic beads and play sand in it. And it is 11 pounds, 14.3 ounces. So that's a pretty interesting spectrum of bags and feels. And, you know, I've got to say there are pluses and minuses to all of these. I think if I was really looking for a bag to take to a PRS match, I would probably want this ultralight fill. It feels really, really good. And again, the difference, the ratio of weight on these is crazy what you can achieve. This whole spectrum of feels and weights gives you a ton of options for tuning your bag to your application. And I'd like to point out that I'm not going to be stingy with all of these bags, and I'm going to give a few of these away. So do comment in the video and put a number between 1 and 1,000. I'm going to take the first entered numeral when I do the drawing. So it's on you to make sure that you're not repeating another number in the comments. So put a number between 1 and 1,000 in the comments. And I'm going to use a number generator to create a giveaway for a few of these bags. So get involved, and hopefully you'll get a free set of bags filled with beautiful SpexLite fill, and you'll be able to get out on the range and get some shooting done. Thank you everyone for joining me today. Make sure you check out SpexLite at their website, and also use my Amazon links to purchase your SpexLite product via Amazon and help support the channel in the process. These are great options, great products. Could not recommend them more. So do show David and JD some love, and get yourself some SpexLite fill and some really cool bags for use on your next range adventure.